Today I'm going to talk about preferences in Illustrator, and I'm in Adobe Illustrator CC. Now I've already gone and reset my preferences. Let me show you how to do that. So first, go to the Illustrator menu on a Mac or the Edit menu on a PC, and just go to Preferences and open up this first panel, General. So in these more recent versions of Illustrator, there's actually a Reset Preferences button here. So when you click on this, Illustrator will then tell you it needs to restart in order to reset the preferences. And so you'll go through those steps. It's really self-explanatory. And then you'll be back where we are right here. It used to be that we had to go and find the preferences file on our system and delete it. So this button here makes that a lot easier. Now, one of the first things I like to set when I'm coming back to refreshed preferences is over in user interface. Here we have the ability to change the brightness of the interface. I actually like the default. You can change the canvas color to white or just leave it as the dark color. For me, all of these settings here are just fine, but I like to change the UI scaling. So if I move this all the way up from small to large, and the number of options you have on this slider depends on your screen resolution, so it may be different than mine. You can see in this preview window how large everything gets. So for teaching and making tutorial videos, I actually like this really large setting. It just makes everything so much easier to see for the people who are watching. But today I'm going to just put this right here in the middle. And one thing about this setting, UI scaling, is that we're going to have to restart Illustrator in order to make that change take effect. So I'm going to click OK, and Illustrator is going to restart, and I'll come right back. I won't make you wait through that. So we're back now, and as you can see, things are just a little larger than they were before in my interface. Now, again, let's go to Preferences. This time I'm going to use the shortcut Command or Control K. This is one of the most important shortcuts, I think, in Illustrator. Have this shortcut at the ready because there are preferences that you're going to change frequently. In fact, I change this one right here, the keyboard increment, several times an hour, maybe even more than that, because this is the increment that you nudge objects by using the arrow keys on your keyboard. So I'll change this from 1 point to 1 inch and that sort of thing. And as you can see, when I enter it, that 1 inch changed to 72 points. So just by default in Illustrator, we very often start out with points as our unit of measure, and there are 72 points in 1 inch. I rarely ever change these next two numbers here. And in this first column here, I leave everything set to the defaults, but I will say that you might want to check Use Legacy File New Interface, because if you're experiencing a little slowdown with Illustrator, just know that the File New interface, when you start a new file, Illustrator is going to load content in from the web, templates and that sort of thing. And if your internet connection is a little slow, it can take a few extra moments for that to load. So in that case, I'll check this box to use the Legacy File New interface. Over here in the second column, double click to isolate is something I turn off and on. There's more than one way to enter isolation mode. There's even a button on the top control bar that you can use. And sometimes I'm using a Wacom tablet and I accidentally double click on something. So unchecking this option removes that frustration, and then you can use the button on the top control bar or even right click on the object to enter isolation mode. Next, we have a few settings here. Transform pattern tiles, scale corners, and scale strokes and effects that are really dependent on what you're working on at any given moment. So you can actually work with these settings here in Preferences, or you'll find them in some dialog boxes as you're working. So the question is, do you want your pattern tiles to scale when you enlarge and reduce an object? And do you want the corner radius to scale as well, or the stroke weight, or the size of a drop shadow? These are questions that really you can only answer as you're working, and so that's what these settings here are for. Next, enable content aware defaults. I rarely turn this off. The only time I've turned this off is in a case when I'm working with freeform gradients, and I just don't happen to like the way that Illustrator sort of detects all the colors in your art and just adds a few of them to your initial freeform gradient just to sort of get you started. If you don't like that behavior, you can uncheck content aware defaults, and then you're just starting with a blank freeform gradient. Next, let's take a look at selection and anchor display, and I have just a few things I want to call out here. I, for the most part, leave things at the default, but there's a new feature here in Illustrator, select and unlock objects on canvas. So by default, this is unchecked. It's the old behavior. So that means whenever you have something locked in Illustrator, you can't select it no matter how many times you click on it. But if you enable this setting, by checking this preference, when you click on a locked object, you're going to see a little lock icon, and when you click on that, you can unlock the object directly on the canvas without having to go to the menu or the layers panel. So that's a helpful little preference setting there. Next, this setting, Move Locked and Hidden Artwork with Artboard, is turned off by default. If you're working a lot with artboards and you have locked artwork and you need to rearrange your artboards, you may want to have this preference checked. Now let's look at everything we have down here. These preferences control how your anchor points and handles look when you're working with curves in Illustrator. So these are the default settings. If I click OK and select this, we can see we have really small little anchor points, and if I select everything here with my white arrow, I'm not seeing any handles. I do see handles, of course, when I select one anchor point, but I like to be able to select an object with my white arrow and see all the handles. That gives me some information about the curves. Also, the handles here are white, and you may prefer this. I just happen to like the darker colored handles. So now I'm going to go back and make a change here in selection anchor display. So I'm going to make my anchor points just a little bit larger, change the handle to a darker handle, and then check this checkbox, show handles when multiple anchors are selected. And when I do this and I select everything with the white arrow, I can see all of my handles. And of course, I change the size of the anchor point so they're a little bit bigger, and I like these darker handles better as well. And of course, enable rubber band for pen tool and curvature tool. Those are really good settings. They're set by default, so you don't have to worry about those, but I definitely want these on. Next, we can look at type. And I like all these defaults just as they are, but I like to call out enable in-menu font previews. This can be a little more work for your system, but I think it's well worth it to see your font previews live there in your font menu. And then this drop-down controls the number of recently used fonts that are available to you at the top of your font menu. Now let's move on to some other settings. Units are just a document by document setting, and you can also set this up when you create a new document. Guides and grid allows you to change the color of your guides. And below that, we have the settings for spacing out your grid lines. Both of these settings can be controlled using the View menu. So if you go up to the View menu, you can pull down to Guides or to Grid, Show Grid. And this menu is grayed out now because we're in Preferences. Smart Guides are also controlled in the View menu. Mine are turned on right now, even though everything's grayed out because we're in Preferences. And then these are the settings if I wanted to make any changes to how the Smart Guides behave, and all the little labels that pop up when you're using them. Now I'm going to skip down here to Performance, and I definitely want both of these checkboxes under GPU Performance checked so that I can get the fastest performance out of Illustrator and the zoom experience is smooth and animated. And then I just want to call your attention to this checkbox down here, Real-Time Drawing and Editing. This is a newer feature in Illustrator, and when you have it enabled, objects are fully rendered as you scale them. If you uncheck this box and disable this feature, you go back to the old behavior of Illustrator where you just see this path outline as you're scaling. And look for this feature to improve as Adobe makes more tools compatible with it. And now just a couple more things. Let's go to File Handling and Clipboard and just look here. All of these settings at the top here are checked. These are your file save options, And they're very important so that Illustrator can save your work in a recovery file in case there's a crash. This has saved my bacon more than a few times in Illustrator. And then right here, these are newer features. Illustrator can save your file in the background and export in the background, so you don't have to wait for those things to happen in order to get on with your work. And then at the bottom here, this is also newer. Now that Illustrator has Cloud Documents capability, there's a setting here for how often your document is going to save to the cloud. Appearance of black is controlling how black looks on RGB devices, so I leave everything just as it is. This doesn't affect your CMYK rich black. And then finally here, devices. Check Enable Wacom if you're using a Wacom tablet. All right, so those are all my preference settings, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, give me a like, send me a comment. I hope you're enjoying these tutorials, and thank you for watching.